Jessica's Parkrun Heroes is brought to you by Vitality Health and Life Insurance.
I'm inspired. I feel like I ran myself. And, oh, that's enough.
Parkrun is a global phenomenon. In the UK, around 200,000 of us run every Saturday morning, helping whole communities get active and live healthier and happier lives. So Vitality, through their partnership with Parkrun UK, have explored 10 stories about ordinary parkrunners who've achieved some extraordinary things. You're in your mid-40s, pretty fit and healthy, and then you wake up one day with a tremor in your hand, and it won't go away. This is what happened to Scotsman John MacPhee, and this film is about what happened next.
The light is absolutely stunning. I think it's light that you don't get anywhere else in the world. And if you're enjoying Scotland at its best, you're enjoying the world at its best.
No, John has this thing of saying, it's not much further. I've yet to find that walk, actually. We've been on lots where it isn't quite like that, darling.
I guess I've always been relatively laid back and quite positive in my attitude. But I've never needed to be positive in my attitude. Now I need to be. You become more adept at looking at your own surroundings and how you're responding to things. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and it came as a bit of a shock. Literally, you'll be sitting down at a desk and looking at a screen, and you will just fall asleep. There's nothing you can do about that, and it came to the point where I just couldn't go on expecting to be paid to be sleeping at a desk. The drawer of drugs. There's all sorts in here. In essence, Parkinson's is the lack of dopamine production in your brain. These are set up for tomorrow. It affects people's moods, it affects people's mobility. These are the drugs I take most of. And that's been set aside and levodopa, which simulates in the brain the dopamine production. You can get freezing with Parkinson's when you're just rigidly stuck to the spot. Lack of taste, face masking. You can almost play Parkinson's bingo, where you name something, drooling, incontinence. The last drug is probably my most embarrassing one, because without that, I have no bladder control. There's a pill that you take daily in order to make sure that you don't walk about with a wet patch in your jeans. Can I just say it works?
Go on in. In the SPAC here, we've got all the...
I'm really pleased you've come out in sympathy with the shakes.
So how's the leg, though?
Pills are well kicked in.
It goes away when you run, though, eh?
Yeah, there's different pathways in your brain work when you're running than you do when you're walking. I did see somebody walking on stage once with Parkinson's. Come up with a cracking line. He was just setting up a stand on the guitar and he says, I know what you're thinking. This guy doesn't need an electric toothbrush. If I'm walking along and my legs get quite bad, I just walk and then I turn backwards and I can walk normally backwards as long as you like. There's no tremor. My legs are moving.
Amazing.
It tricks my brain into believing I haven't got Parkinson's. And then walk forwards again and mobility's back. The legs, I can feel my toe tripping me. I used to call it controlled falling. I used to tip my body forward and just hope that my legs caught up with it. I actually do now think I'm jogging, almost running, and I love it. North Inch in Perth is one of the most beautiful settings for a parkrun in the UK. You're running along the banks of the Tay, and it's just the most fantastic scenery. Thilo Kunath is an amazing guy. He's a stem cell researcher, and he's looking to cure people with Parkinson's. And it's an amazing thing to do, and that's why he gives so much out to the Parkinson's community. He's always available to explain.
Parkrun is amazing for people with Parkinson's. It definitely increases particular molecules in the brain. You know, I'm
big fan of parkrun, and it's fantastic for Parkinson's.
Full of positivity about the stem cell research proving to be the right way to follow. But when it will happen, I don't know. Will there be enough funding to do it? Can we get a clinical trial together?
Right now we're at a crossroads for Parkinson's. We are trying to find drugs that slow down the progression. So we know that in Parkinson's, the dopamine-producing neurons are lost. And what we're doing now in the lab for a transplantation into people with Parkinson's. So this is essentially to reverse some of the symptoms of Parkinson's.
To hear from a scientist to say that we can start stopping and looking at reversing is just, to me, it gives me a real hope to be normal and not be immobilized before my time.
On the screen here, we have some dopamine-producing neurons that we made over 3 months. So these two structures here are produced in the lab. We genetically modified them. They're a new type of cell that will not, quote unquote, get Parkinson's.
Okay.
We're very excited about that.
I'm in the queue now and just I'll hang around.
So this is John and me in the white dress. And then this is Liam, our oldest son, and Connor. And then John's two girls, Laurie and Christy. Took us a while to finally get married.
When I first suspected I had Parkinson's, I went along to the GP. He said to me, "Don't worry, we'll rule out everything, including Parkinson's." He sent me along for a DAT scan, which was the first of my D-days, like an MRI scan. D-day 2 is when the results of the DAT scan comes in and you're sitting in front of your doctor and he tells you, "Here's your diagnosis. What on earth is going on? Why? Why are you taking away my future? What right have you got?" And you get quite angry and bitter about this.
Slowly you start to think about actually what will the future be like, and you know what adjustments are we going to have to make. So it takes a wee while to sink in.
And that's where the D-Day number 3 comes in, and that's your determination day. And that's every single day you must be determined in order to make the best of that day. And I guess it came from the other phrase that people use quite regularly, and I sum up as, "I have Parkinson's, but Parkinson's doesn't have me." Day 3. This is all I've seen, apart from walking behind Yvonne, for about the last 3 days.
So when he first talked about walking from Land's End to John O'Groats in a straight line, I said to him, "Don't be ridiculous."
I am so thrilled. Up valley, down dale, up valley, down dale. But then the impulse became a compulse, and then I drew a line in a map. I'm going to follow that route from Land's End to John O'Groats, and that will be my challenge to myself and my challenge to my Parkinson's.
Lots of people took that photo when we finished on the last day in John O'Groats. It's more than just finishing something like that. It's about, you know, him saying, you know, Parkinson's is not the most important thing here. There's still an awful lot I can do. So I think when he finished that day, goodness, I feel emotional talking about it. Yeah, it's a big thing for us.
I see myself as more of being the person I was, but just more of it. I think this is this distillation. Robin Morgan was an American poet with Parkinson's. She put it best when she said, "Parkinson's is distilling me. It's distilling my personality, and I'd rather like the person it's distilling me into." There's more of me now that I have Parkinson's. I guess my identity is stronger as being John MacPhee now than it was when I was working for somebody or just taking part in life as a bit player. You're now very much centre stage and taking control.
Jessica's Parkrun Heroes is brought to you by Vitality Health and Life Insurance.
Sorry, no. Forgot my trainers.